Nature, the primordial home of mankind. No matter how far we go, no matter how far we advance, we are always within its reach. The flood of 2015 has shown us this ugly truth once again, annihilating the communities in the Midlands and Lowlands. Economists estimate the flood has caused over $12 billion in damage. But this number doesn't really tell us anything. It doesn't tell us about the real harm done to people's lives. Local fabric store owner Michael Marche shares with us his story of devastation.
Well, it was the night of October 4th. We were thinking that the storm wasn't going to be as bad as it was because the meteorologist has said the storm was going to stay south during the day and then move during the evening north. So we kind of let our guards down, and when we did, instead of like the 3 or 4 inches of rain that they said we were going to get that Saturday night, we ended up getting a foot. And with all the rain prior to that, it just, everything was so saturated, the water table was up. There was nowhere for the water to run off, so it came into Forest Acres. We didn't get to the building until that Tuesday. It took Sunday and Monday for the water to recede enough for us to get to this part of Forest Acres. So that drove 3 or 4 more feet of water than we were expected through the Forest Acres area, the Gills Creek area, straight through the building and straight into the Lake Catherine area to the Congaree River. So it was, we had never had anywhere near that exposure of water in that area, flooding. I mean, it never really, a couple of times it reached out of the banks of the creek, but to be 6.5 feet was pretty phenomenal. Yeah, well, I didn't have insurance on the contents, and that was about a $1.2 million loss. I did have insurance on the building. The building, to get it back the way we're building, it's going to probably be in about the $350,000 range.
Gotcha.
So it's we're putting a little bit more money on top of the insurance money to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Numbers are often deceiving. They don't tell us the real story, the real pain.
When the dams broke that morning, people woke up to water in their house, and you know, at 6 o'clock in the morning, people waking up, putting their feet on the floor, and they're soaking wet. And so a lot of people came to rescue. A lot of people had to get their boats and off of trailers and into the water and scoot across Lake Catherine and get people over there in the Shady Lane area and bring them to higher ground. Something that you've seen on TV before many a times, but never thought it would happen to you. This is a flood zone area. I have to, you know, I can't hide behind that. But with the lake system that's upstream and downstream to regulate water, it's pretty safe to be in this area. But when the dams broke, it was a bad sight. The state is going to have to regulate these dam owners a little bit more stringently because Nikki Haley, on that Tuesday before the flood, she came out and asked people to start voluntarily letting down their lakes. And then she didn't move until Thursday at 6 o'clock to mandatory. If she would have done mandatory letdown, knowing that there could have been a foot of water a short amount of time here in the city or in the county area, it would have all these these lakes would have been just creek beds, and then once the rain started, there wouldn't have been as much blunt force trauma to the dams as there were.
Though our original home, mankind has been in an eternal struggle against nature. Can we learn to live in peace with it, or will it destroy us?
But like I say, there has to be more of an emergency coordination when hurricanes are sighted off the coast and they're coming our way. Forget about these pontoon rides in this fall. People need to let the lakes down and go on and drain them. And better safe than sorry. The big thing, I mean, it was pretty traumatic, but in our situation where we were, to know that nobody died, because if Forest Lake dies, there are 500 people dead in that valley, because there would have, instead of 7 feet of water, there'd have been probably 10 to 12 feet of water, and all those houses would have been consumed.
That's
There would have been
cringe.
people that would have been on the roofs trying to get rescued rather than out of their windows. So that's the material things. You can always make more money. You can't make a life.
Yeah.
And knowing that all my family and our neighbors were safe meant all in the world. I didn't. We can rebuild and we can get back. To
Yeah,
work.
you can't rebuild life.
No.
It's gone forever.
No.